Citing sources is a very important part of your research, both in terms of locating sources to begin with and in writing your paper. So, why do we cite sources? One reason is to give credit to the author or creator. Another reason is to enable a reader to locate the source that you cited. When you're doing research in a database, you may sometimes find a citation of an article that is not available in full text in the database. Having that citation gives you all the information you need to locate that article on your own. Let's start by learning a bit about how to read citations. Here we have the citation of a book. The title of the book is Human Relations and Your Career. The author is D.W. Johnson, and the book was published in 1987 in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, by Prentice Hall, who is the publisher. This is a journal article, so this citation is a bit more complicated. The article itself is called Isolation, Identification, and Synthesis of the Sex Attractant of Gypsy Moth, written by Martin Jacobson and his colleagues. The article is in the journal Science, in volume 132, issue number 3433, from October 14, 1960, on page 1011. This one's a little different because it is an article or chapter within a book. You will usually find these when a book has articles or essays written by a number of different people, all pulled together into one book. So in this case, the article or chapter itself is called Women in Healthcare, A Comparison of Theories, and the author of that chapter is Elizabeth Fee. The book that this article is in is called Women in Health, The Politics of Sex and Medicine, and is edited also by Elizabeth Fee. Often the editor name will be different from the author of the chapter or article. Again, we have the publishing information for the book itself, Farmington-Dale, New York, Baywood Publishing Company, 1982, and pages 17 through 34, which are the pages of that book on which this particular article or chapter are located. As you're writing your research paper, there are several different types of citations that you might use, and exactly which ones you use may depend on what your professor requests. A footnote is when there is a tiny number after a word or a fact, and then at the bottom of the page there is a citation for where you got that fact from. Sometimes the collection of citations may be at the end of the chapter, in which case it is called an endnote rather than a footnote. In text citations are when you put basic information about the source right there in the text. You may include the author's name within your text, as in this first example, or may include all the information in parentheses, as in the second example. Regardless of whether you use footnotes, endnotes, or in-text citations, you'll have a bibliography at the end of your paper. This is also sometimes known as a works cited list or references list, and this is where you include complete citations for every source you used for your research. There are several different citation styles you might be asked to use. The most common ones are APA, MLA, and Chicago, also known as Turabian. You'll need to ask your professor which citation style they prefer for you to use. The styles generally all include the same bits of information, but may differ in the order that those pieces of information are in, or the punctuation that's used in the citation. So it's important to follow exactly the style that you're asked to use. The library has handbooks on each of the primary citation styles, and there are excellent online guides to these styles available, the links to which will show up right after you finish watching this video.